In this Blender tutorial, I'll show you how to use the screw modifier, and as you may expect, the screw modifier can be really useful for creating screws and bolts, but it can also be used for some other things which I'll be showing you in the video. So in Blender, I'm just going to select everything and we're just going to delete everything. So what I want to do is I basically want to model like the profile shape. So I don't want to model a 3D object, I just want to model like the flat profile shape of my screw. So I'll go to the add menu and I can just add a plane, and I can hit tab to go to edit mode, and I'll rotate the plane on the x-axis by 90 degrees. And then what I can do is deselect everything, and I can just box select the two vertices on this side and just delete the vertices. So then I'll hit A to select the mesh and just move it here into the center. So I'm now going to hit Control R to add a loop cut, and I'll scroll out my mouse wheel and then just click to place that right there, and then I can scale it up a bit. So now what I can do is extrude it, and we can extrude it out on the x-axis, and then we can scale it down on the z-axis like that. Now I actually don't want this face. What we're going to do is just go to the edge select here, select this edge, and we'll delete it, and we're going to delete the edges. So now you can see we basically just have that little profile shape. So now let's go over here to the modifier properties. We're going to click on add modifier, and we're going to add the screw modifier. Now on default, what the screw modifier is doing is basically taking our mesh and it's duplicating it and extruding it and making it go all the way around in a circle. So if I just select the mesh and hit G to grab and move it on the x-axis, you can see I can move this out, and now you can see we have kind of this shape here. So in edit mode, if you select the mesh and move it away from the origin point, that's going to basically change the size there of that circle. So let's now go over the screw modifier settings. So you can see there is this angle here. So on default, it's 360. So that's all the way around in a circle, but I can drag it down if I just want to make it like half or less, but I'm going to turn it back to 360 degrees. Probably for most things, you're going to want to leave it at 360. Now the problem with this object right now is it doesn't really have that screw spiral pattern. So that's where this screw option comes in. So this second option here, you can see if I turn this up and down, you can see it's actually making it spiral up. So I can hit G to grab, move it out on the x-axis to make it quite a bit bigger, and then back in object mode, you can see I can change this screw here, and it looks like for this object, turning it to a 2 is going to be the exact amount because we started with a plane, so the plane is exactly a size of 2. So now you can see we're getting that swirl effect. And then we can turn up the iterations. So the iterations is sort of going to array it, and it's going to continue to move it around again and again. So you can see if I turn up the iterations, it's basically just arraying it, and it's just spinning around again and again. So now we're getting that cool screw shape for like a screw or a bolt. Now right down here, there are axis settings. So there's the x-axis, there is the y-axis, and there's the z-axis. Now for our object, how we set it up, I set it up to work with the z-axis, but depending on how you modeled your object, the x-axis or y-axis might work better, but I'm using the z-axis. Now what you can also do is you can choose an axis object. So if I hit Shift A for the add menu, what I could do is go here to empty, and then I could just add like a plain axis. So now we have that little empty there in the center. So now if I click on the screw again, I can click on the eyedropper here, and I can choose the empty object. So now if I select the empty object and move the empty object around, you can see it's always going to be rotating from the center of that empty. Now you can also click on the object screw check mark, and when you click on that, what that's going to do is it's going to use the height of the object to actually make the screw. So if I just select the object, so select the empty, hit G to grab and move it up on the z-axis, you can see now we're actually getting that screw height. So when you turn on the object screw, it's going to basically gray out the screw and disable it, so you're going to use the object's height instead. And then the steps viewport and the steps render is basically going to be the geometry going around the screw. So I can just turn this down. You can see now it's nice and low poly, but that's a bit too low poly. So I'm going to turn it up to maybe like a 20. And then this is going to be like the amount that it's rendering with. So I'm also going to turn this up to like a 20. Now I'm just going to select the empty object, and I'm just going to delete the empty object. And so that way I'll just use the screw of 2 meters. Now there's also this merge setting, and you might think that this merge setting is basically going to merge like the 2 iterations together. So we have these iterations right here to just duplicate them. So you might think that it's going to merge them together, but it's actually not going to do that. The merge setting is only going to merge it in the center of where like the origin is. So to show you an example, I'm just going to move the screw out of the way. I'll go to the add menu and I'll just add a plane, and I'll zoom into the plane. And in edit mode, I'm going to scale it. We'll scale it on the x-axis by 0, and then I'm going to hit M, and we're going to merge by distance so it merges those extra vertices. So I can now click on add modifier and I can search for the screw modifier, and then I'll hit G to grab and drag it out here. Well, if I now turn on the merge setting and turn the merge value all the way up to 1, now if I select this vertex here and bring it closer and closer into the center, you can see once it gets past this merge value, it's going to merge together. And so that's useful for merging like the top. So then I could like continue to model this. So I could like extrude down this vertex, extrude that down there, and then I could like extrude it and rotate it, and I could just kind of start to create like a basic object. So again, we want to create like the profile shape, and then it will rotate it around. So that's going to merge the very center. So it might be useful for some things. I probably wouldn't use it that often though. Now I'm just going to take this object again and I'm going to duplicate it and move it over. And then I'm going to click on the drop down arrow and just apply the screw modifier. So I'm now going to use the object context menu and just shade it flat so you can see it a bit better. And I'm going to go into edit mode and kind of zoom in here. So if I just hold down the Alt key and select this loop here, you can see if I hit G to grab and kind of pull it up, you can see there are overlapping vertices. So once you apply the modifier, what you want to do is just select everything and you want to hit M to merge, and you want to merge by distance. And you can see it got rid of 261 vertices. So now if I just hold down the Alt key and select that loop there, I can hit G to grab, and you can see there aren't any overlapping vertices. However, you might want to merge the vertices without actually applying the modifier. So if you want to do that, then you can click on add modifier and you can search for weld, and you can add the weld modifier after the screw modifier. So you can see it's right down here, and there's a distance value, so you can change that distance value. Now, if you look way down here at the very bottom of Blender, you can see there is this vertex count. And if I just click on the monitor icon to hide the weld, you can see now there's about 3,270 vertices, but if I turn on the weld, you can see now there's only about 3,000 vertices. So it's getting rid of a lot of extra vertices. Now, if I click on the drop down and apply the screw modifier and then click on the drop down and apply the weld modifier, now if I go into edit mode and if I alt select that loop and try to move it, you can see it merged the vertices. So now those vertices are overlapping. So if you do want to merge the vertices, that weld modifier is really useful. So now to cover the last settings on the modifier, if I go down here past the merge, there's also this stretch UVs, so you can stretch it on like one axis or the other axis, the U and the V, but I really don't find this that useful. I would just apply the modifiers and then I would UV unwrap the object if I needed to UV unwrap it. And then the last options here are underneath the normals, so I can click on the arrow here to open up the normals, and there is smooth shading, but if I wanted to shade it flat, I could just turn that off, because the smooth shading here on the screw modifier is going to override your shade smooth or the shade flat with the object context menu. Now you can still use the shade auto smooth on the object context menu, so if you want to do shade auto smooth you can do that, but if you try to shade it flat or shade it smooth, it's going to be controlled by this smooth shading checkmark. Then there's also two options for recalculating the normals or flipping the normals. And in this case, the normals actually need to be flipped. And I can tell that because the shading just looks off. It looks really weird. But if you can't tell, then what you can do is click right here on the overlays, and you can click here on the face orientation. So generally, most of the time, you don't want to see any of the red faces when this is turned on, because the red faces are the inside of the face, and then the regular shading is the outside of the face. So what you can do is you can click on calculate order, and you can see it's basically going to try to figure out how the normals need to be flipped, and you can see in this case it did a perfect job. So now the red is on the inside and then it's white on the outside. But if for some reason maybe it flipped it and maybe it's in the wrong direction, you can click on the flip button. So now you can see the red is on the outside and the white is on the inside. So if you do want to recalculate the normals without applying the modifier, you can just use those options there. So then after adding these modifiers to add a bit more detail to the mesh and make it sharper on the edges, what you could do is, for example, search for like a bevel modifier, and then I could turn maybe the amount up to like 2, so 2 segments, and then I could make the amount really small. So now we have a nice bevel modifier there on the screw, so now the object looks much more sharp, so that looks a lot nicer. So as well as adding the screw modifier to meshes, you can also add them to curves. So if I go to the add menu, I'm just going to go here to curve and add the Bezier curve, and I'm just going to zoom into the curve, and I'll go into edit mode, and I'm just going to rotate the curve on the y-axis by 90 degrees, and I'll just move the curve over here. So I'll now click on add modifier, and I can just add the screw modifier, and you can see the screw modifier also works for curves. But what's really great about curves is that in edit mode, it's really easy to just kind of move the curves around, and the curves are nice and smooth. You can kind of move the handles around. So an example of where this might be useful is if you want to model like some vases or like a wine glass. So I can select the curve handles and I can like move this down, maybe scale it down like that, and then I can like extrude it, rotate it, move this right up there, and then select this handle and drag the handle back so it's a bit sharper. Maybe scale it down so the handle's a bit sharper, and then I can like extrude this up and kind of scale this up like that. So it's much more adaptable and easier to change than using a normal mesh object. And then of course, for example, you could add like a solidify modifier to give it thickness. So maybe I'll just turn the thickness value up, and then I could add like a subdivision surface. So now you can see we have a nice smooth wine glass, but because we're using modifiers, it's a non-destructive workflow, so I can still move the object around and edit the object really easily. So I'm just going to move this object out of the way, and I'm also going to show you how you could model a spring. So if I just go to the add menu, I could, for example, add like a circle, and then right behind me on the add circle settings, I could just turn the vertices down maybe to like a 16. So then I could add the screw modifier. Now on default, because it's on the Z-axis, it's just rotating around along the Z-axis. So what I'm going to do instead is go into edit mode, and I'm going to rotate this along the X-axis by 90 degrees. So now, because it's like up and down, it's kind of rotating around in a circle, and if I try to move it in object mode, it's going to stay in the center of the object's origin. So what I could do is go to edit mode and move this around here, move this over here, and now we have a donut shape. But what I could also do is just move it to the side, and then what I could do is just go to the add menu, and I could search for an empty. I'll just add the plain axis empty, and then if I click on the original object again, I could use the axis object. So I'll click on the eyedropper and just choose the empty. So this way, instead of it rotating around the center of the object's origin, it's going to rotate around the center of the empty object. Now what I could also do is checkmark the object screw. And so again, as I mentioned earlier, what that's going to do is going to make the height of this object determine how much it's rotating up and spiraling up. And now we have a basic spring shape, and then I could just like turn up the iterations, have that go up. And what I also need to do is open up the normals here and recalculate the order and flip them. So then I can just select the empty object and I can move it up and down to control the size of that, and also bring it back and forth to make it bigger and smaller. And then of course in edit mode of the original object, I could scale the object down, and that would make it a bit thinner. So this is a really cool way to quickly customize the shape of a spring. And one more cool thing you could do with this, if you go back into edit mode of the spring, you could box select the top vertices and just delete the top vertices. And then I'm just going to click on the drop down here and hide the face orientation because I don't really need that. And then I'll just select the object, move this down, make it a bit smaller. And so now you can see we kind of have like this like marble run trench. It kind of looks like a water slide or a trench for like a marble run. And I actually have a tutorial on how to create a marble run. So if you want to check that out, the link is in the description. This would be a cool method for creating kind of like a spinning marble run. So that's how you can use this screw modifier in Blender. So I hope you found this video helpful, and thank you for watching. And if you'd like to learn more about Blender's modifiers, then I do have a modifiers for beginners tutorial, which you can check out, where I talk about many more common modifiers and how to use them. And you can also check out my Blender quick tips tutorial playlist, where I have more quick tips in Blender and I teach you how to use more tools and share more tips in Blender. But I hope you found this helpful, and thank you for watching.